So let's just say the listener, right? Let's say it's a 35-year-old listener listening to this right now. And obviously, for the first time hearing this level of conversation, their mind is blown. It's kind of like they didn't even know these things exist. And they're listening to you, they're just like,
Yeah.
holy shit, the world is not what I thought it was. What words of wisdom do you want to instill in them? Because again, we're talking to business people. So like essentially you're talking about living forever, living to 140. I want this person to imagine what would it be like if Rockefeller lived to 140, right? What would it look like if all these historical people that have established the world that we live in right now had lived that long? I want you to deliver a value proposition to them to let them know what your thoughts are to move forward.
I just did one this morning. He's a very successful businessman that I met last year, and he lives on a multi-million-dollar mansion on the beach, and he also has very nice sports cars, but he's getting a day older. And when I met him, he was asking what I was doing to stay in shape, because he was in shape. He went to the gym, but he was very interested in what I had to say. So I actually texted him, not an hour before I got on the show here, and I said, look, you need to become my mentee because I was going through my list, right? Because you're always upgrading your business because you want to be the best you can be. You're upgrading your house. You're upgrading your sports car every time that you're upgrading sport. What about upgrading yourself? Right? Because you're forgetting that. And you don't need to know how to do that, because I can show you how to upgrade yourself. And then we both remembered an incident that happens at one of the car shows that we were, and this is probably 2 years ago. But you have this very successful older, I'd just say 65-year-old man that's a little bit overweight, very successful, has his Ferrari, and he goes into the event and he tries to, because Lamborghini, it was a Lamborghini. Yeah, it was a Lamborghini, and you could it was there at this place, so you could go sit in it and kind of feel good. He went in it, he couldn't get out, because you know how low they are.
Yeah.
All right. So he had to crawl out on his knees. And I said, that's exactly the problem. He's successful in business. He's got the nicest car, but he's not taking care of himself. Right. So you're upgrading your business. You're upgrading your tools, your toys. You're upgrading your life when it comes to the morbid aspect. But what about you? Don't you want to be around longer? So you got to upgrade yourself. So business people out there, even young people, see, because you said 35, and when you're 35, you still may be feeling invincible, especially if you're in shape, right? But here's the thing, what people misunderstand. We always think that aging is linear, a year, a year, a year. That's a big mistake, because aging is exponential. Once you get 40, 50, and once one thing in your body starts giving out or not operating well, it's a cascade, and it's exponentially, right? So the last 10 years of your life go much faster downhill than between 30 and 40. Between 30 and 40, it's a slow aging process. 40, 50, it's a little bit faster. 50, 60, faster. So people need to realize aging is not linear, it's exponential. So to counteract aging, you can't do it linearly. You got to do exponentially. So the sooner you start, the further you're going to reach. If you want to reach that 142 and feel like a 40-year-old, then you better start, because you got to do it exponentially.